story is called Mr. Sneeze. Before you say, is that Corona? It's not Corona. This story is called Mr. Sneeze. I hope he sneezes in his elbow, like you all are doing now. Ready? Let's see what happened to Mr. Sneeze. This is cold land. It's a very cold place. It's cold all the time. It doesn't just snow, it's freezing. It snows all the time. It's never sunny in Sneezeland or cold land. It's so cold, everybody who gets to cold land has a poor red nose. Or the elephant has a red trunk. If somebody comes from cold land, their nose is always red. Even the dogs have red noses, and the cats have red noses, and the mice, we say squeak, 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 squeak. You've never seen a red-nosed elephant before, I'm sure. Well, neither have I. And you know what noise you always hear in cold land? Ready? Ha, ha, tissue! It always happens all day and all night long. This is a story of a man called Mr. Sneeze. He lived in a place which had lots of snow. Because remember, it's very, very cold. That's right. Good job. Every morning, Mr. Sneeze would wake up. He would give a sneeze. He would get dressed and sneeze. He had breakfast. He would sneeze. Even on his way to work, he would sneeze. But he always did it in his elbow. I don't like the sneezing all the time. Maybe I should find a way to make my sneezes go away. Mr. Sneeze packed the things he needed for his holiday. It was only tissues. And as he left the house, he would give a lot of sneezes. He walked and sneezed and sneezed and walked, and he walked for many, many, many days. As he walked, he saw that there was no more snow. Where could he be? He's no longer in cold land. And you know what he saw? He saw people were walking and they weren't sneezing. They were just walking. Just like magic. He wasn't sneezing either. Not even the smallest, teeniest, tiniest achoo. I wonder, why am I not sneezing? He must have said it very loud because he saw a wizard. And the wizard said, you're not sneezing because you don't have a cold anymore. Mr. Sneeze jumped up. Where's that voice coming from? It was the wizard. That's tricky. Came up behind him. What does it mean to have a cold, said Mr. Sneeze. A cold is when you're not well. You catch a cold. Oh, I come from a place called Cold Land. It's cold all the time. That's tricky, said the wizard. It can't be cold all the time. There has to be a sun. That's right. It can't be without a sun in Cold Land. But there's no sun in Cold Land, said Mr. Sneeze. Really? No sun? That's very strange. I think I need to do some of my magic. What do you say? Yes, said Mr. Sneeze. But he didn't know what the wizard was talking about. How can there be a sun in Cold Land? Good question. How far away do we have to get to Cold Land? Oh, it's a long way away, said Mr. Sneeze. Which way? Mrs. Sneeze pointed it that way. I don't think it should take too long, said the wizard. He got a magic wand, waited, did some magic, and guess what? They did magic And in 1 second, they ended up in Cold Land, just like that. Before you could sneeze, both the wizard and Mr. Sneeze were in Shivertown. That's the biggest city in Cold Land. And guess what? What do you think the weather was? Was it sunny? No. Was it raining? No. It was cold. Such a cold and gloomy place, said the wizard. Tissue, said Mr. Sneeze as he began to sneeze again. Oh my goodness, said the wizard. You definitely need lots of sun in the Cold Land, and that's going to take some magic. Please hurry up, said Mr. Sneeze. Now, said the wizard, I'm going to say some magic words. And after these magic words, you're to sneeze not once, not twice, but 3 times. That's right. Let's see what happens with his magic. The wise old wizard held up a magic wand, but he didn't say the magic words loud enough for anyone to hear. Tissue, tissue, said Mr. Sneeze. Guess what? The wizard and Mr. Sneeze did magic. What came out through the clouds? I hope you said the sun, because if you did, you were right. And it was no longer snowing. There, said the wizard, this should stop the sneezing. And then he said a bit of magic words and said goodbye. And Mr. Sneeze stood under the sun, and just like that, guess what happened? The snow disappeared. The sun had melted the snow. It's like a very hot day. And after that, every day the sun would shine, and it's no longer cold anymore, Cold Land. The dogs, the cats, the mice, they don't have red noses anymore. It's very hard to hear a sneeze in Cold Land. Even Mr. Sneeze doesn't sneeze. But if he does in his elbow. And you know what? Mr. Sneeze, when he looks in the mirror, what colour's his nose? Not red. Look again. Blue. I hope you said blue. Well done. And that's the end. I hope if you remember to sneeze, if you remember to cough, if you remember to shake hands, with your shaking hands, elbow. And if you sneeze and cough, in your elbow. Love you guys.